Good day, world. Buck Denver here. Amazing news. There are 39 more kings and queens after Solomon in just 385 years.
Wait a minute. If you become king, you stay king for the rest of your life. So how could one country have 39 kings and queens in just 385 years?
Because Israel didn't remain just one country. This is the consequence of Solomon's sin.
That's right. Solomon sinned by worshiping idols, fake gods. He also sinned by grabbing too much stuff for himself, horses and gold and wives, and he forced the Israelites to build him huge palaces and places to keep all his stuff. This was sin too.
He started out so well.
Yep. The guy in charge of all this work for Solomon was a guy named Jeroboam. And one day, God sent a prophet to Jeroboam with a message. Do you remember what a prophet is?
Someone who delivers God's messages.
Right. The prophet said that because of Solomon's sin, God was going to take Israel away from him and give it to Jeroboam. That Jeroboam would be the new king.
Oh my! What'd Solomon think about that?
He wasn't too happy. When he found out, he wanted to have Jeroboam killed. So Jeroboam had to hide in Egypt until King Solomon finally died.
Oh, King Solomon, you started out great. You asked for wisdom and you got a big plate full.
Oh, King Solomon, but something went wrong. You got confused as you went along.
What were you worshipping idols for?
And grabbing lots of horses and gold and such.
You made too many trips to the bridal store.
Because 700 wives is way too much.
You can say that again.
I'm not going to, though.
Okay. Oh, King Solomon, it doesn't make sense.
Did you think there'd be no consequence?
Songs from a biplane. First hot air balloons, then a submarine, and now a biplane.
Beethoven never played his songs from a moving vehicle.
He never had to. His songs were good.
Disobeying God has consequences, and for Solomon, those consequences were finally coming home.
After Solomon died, his son Rehoboam became king. All the Israelites came to him and said, "Your father worked us very hard. If you are more kind to us, we'll follow you as our king."
That seems like a good deal.
Yes, it was. So Rehoboam went to his friends, the guys he'd been partying with in high school, and asked them what he should do. They said, "Hey man, you're the king. Show them who's boss." So Rehoboam went back to the Israelites and said, "You think my dad worked you hard? Wait till you see how hard I'm gonna make you work."
Oh, that seems like a really bad idea.
Yes, it was. The Israelites said to Rehoboam, and I'm paraphrasing, "Phooey on you! We're not gonna follow you anymore." And they made Jeroboam their new king.
Just like the prophet had said, God took Israel from Solomon's family and gave it to Jeroboam.
But what about God's promise to David that one of his kids will rule God's people forever? You know, the Davidic covenant?
Davidic, Ianic, Clivic.
Stop it.
Good point. To honor David and his promise to David, God gave David's grandson Rehoboam one tribe to rule, Judah.
That's right. Though technically it was 2 tribes, because tiny little Benjamin did whatever big brother Judah did.
I wonder if Judah ever got annoyed and said, "Stop following me! Stop copying me!"
I feel your pain, Judah.
By the way, what are you doing this weekend? Can I come along? So the kingdom of Israel split in 2. No wonder they could have so many kings and queens.
Yep. Jeroboam ruled over the 10 tribes in the north, and his kingdom was called Israel. Solomon's son Rehoboam ruled over Judah, and little Benjamin too. God's kingdom was broken in 2.
Jeroboam,
Rehoboam,
splitting up the kingdom. Each gets a piece to rule.
Even though God had given Solomon wisdom.
He ended up acting like a fool.
I wanna help.
Who said that?
What a silly thing to break up your kingdom. Hey, wait.
I'm not sure a parachute was the right choice.
We don't all have biplanes, you know.
Did Jeroboam help the northern tribes follow God?
Well, he could have, but he didn't. Like many kings, once he got the crown, he mostly just thought about how to keep it. Jeroboam was afraid that if the northern tribes went down to Jerusalem to worship God at the temple, since Jerusalem was in Rehoboam's kingdom, they might leave him and follow Rehoboam again. He didn't want them to go to Jerusalem to worship God, so Jeroboam did something really bad. So bad it would lead to the end of Israel. Hey, that's a good point for a commercial break.
What?
It was very suspenseful. The end of Israel. Now we should go to commercial.
We don't have commercials.
We don't want to waste the moment. Could you make one up?
Do you have bad breath? I'm sorry. Back to our show.
That was terrible.
I'm sorry. I'm not very good at that sort of thing.
You're telling me.
So Jeroboam didn't want his people going to Jerusalem to worship God. So what did he do?
He built his own places of worship up in the northern tribes.
Yep. And then he made 2 golden calves, put them in his 2 places of worship, and said, "Look, Israel, these are the gods that brought you out of Egypt."
I can't believe it. Just like Aaron at Mount Sinai.
It's exactly like that. They're making the same mistakes again.
It's time for Moses to come down and grind up those idols.
Except Moses isn't around anymore. In fact, no one is around to get the Israelites back on track. So they all start worshiping Jeroboam's golden calves. And Israel walks away from God once again.
Why?
Would you turn from God to worship metal cows?
Why?
Would you break your promises and all your vows?
Will they ever learn?
When will Israel return to God?
Oh, foolish Jeroboam, be glad you didn't know him, 'cause he's... Oh, rats.
Why did God choose Israel? So he could show himself to the whole world, his holiness, his love, and his justice.
So the whole world would be blessed through Israel.
Right. But Israel was behaving just like all the other nations, bowing down to idols, breaking God's laws. If Israel kept on sinning and God didn't do anything about it, the world wouldn't learn who God was. They wouldn't learn about his holiness. If Israel didn't take God seriously, no one else would either.